This is Fraud to Fearless,
where we inspire dreamers to overcome imposter syndrome, embrace their authentic selves, and learn how to harness your brand to build a path to success.
I'm Brooke.
And I'm Hayden, and we're your hosts.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. We're live. This is such a great episode today, you guys. We're actually missing Hayden because, for a very worthy cause, he just had a baby. He just had his baby. So him and his wife, Addie, are gone. But I have a special, not one guest, not two, 4 guests, you guys. Our interns are joining us today. They have been helping me with Steward of My Life, which is my other business, and with the podcast Fraud to Fearless. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Brooke.
Let's start with introductions. I want you guys to each know not only if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the face behind the name, but kind of hear a little bit about each of these amazing individuals. You guys know I went to school at Utah State. Don't kick me off the island, but there is something so special about these students. They're all students at BYU, and each of them has a different story, a different background, different endeavors and goals. And so I'd love to go through and start with some introductions. Tell us your name, your major, what you're looking to do, and what your dreams and goals for the future are. Who's going to kick us off?
I can kick us off. I'm Addie. I'm from Meridian, Idaho, and I'm studying entrepreneurial management at BYU, so I'm hoping to start my own company and learn how to build a great business. I'm also a part of BYU Noteworthy, which is a super fun thing. It's an a cappella group at BYU, and we get the opportunity to go and travel the world and perform all over the Mountain West and all over the U.S., and it is so fun. We just get to share a message, and it's super great that we get to perform, and yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Okay, I literally did not realize this, though. When you first joined the team and you said, I'm a part of BYU Noteworthy, I had heard about it, but I went to a concert, you guys. Addie is literally the star of the show. She was the main person. I've heard of a cappella groups, think Pentatonics, but a million times better, in my opinion. I was in shock. I was like, there's only, 7 people that are in the group?
Yeah.
And you have to go check out their stuff on YouTube. It's amazing. And when you sent me your bio, I was like, okay, you want to start your own business? Seth just said that he wanted to. We'll get to your introduction in a minute. And Josh, you just said that. I'm like, this is why you guys are my people. Addie, so grateful that you're here. Addie has been incredible with Instagram. She is our creative manager. She has done everything, branding. She'll go in. She's created flyers for events, posters. She's been amazing. So thank you, Addie. And she's getting married this summer. So we're so excited for her.
It's
Woohoo.
gonna be so fun.
All right, who's next?
I'll go next. I'm Brendan. I'm from Farmington, Utah. I'm studying political science with a legal studies emphasis right now, so the goal is to go to law school. But I'm also doing a minor in business and a minor in plant and landscape systems. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay. Whoa, legal and 17 minors. So you want to keep Brendan's name in your back pocket. Brendan's been amazing. As we've been developing products for Steward of My Life, he actually got us in contact with a copyright lawyer, and we're able to learn so much about the back end details of what it takes when you're starting a business or creating a product. So Brendan, I'm curious, do you know what kind of lawyer you're interested in being yet, or to be determined?
That's a good question. I thought about tax law, but I'm iffy because I do not want to learn the tax code, but also I hate paying my taxes and I want to fight the government on paying taxes. So maybe tax law. But I also really enjoy just studying criminal cases. I think they're super interesting. So criminal law would be fun too.
That is incredible. Yeah, when you said tax law, I just barely finished my business taxes, and Oh man, it's next level if you're a business owner. So whatever you're doing, I'm cheering you on. Brendan is our project manager. So there's so much on the back end because I have this team working on 5 different things. He's managing the Kanban board that we have and making sure things get done on time and coordinating all the other product stuff. So grateful for you, Brendan. All right, who's next?
I can go next. My name is Seth. I'm also studying at BYU. I just changed my major from finance to construction management. I just didn't love studying finance and all that. I think it's good to know, and I want to learn it later outside of school, but I think construction management will be a good route. And this internship will help me get my business minor. So in a few weeks, we'll have that done. And then I'm married of about 3 months, and my wife and I are hoping to start a business as well.
I read that in your bio and that you're maybe dabbling in a few side gigs or something like that.
Yeah.
Spill the tea. I didn't realize the construction management piece because I think I saw that at least on your resume when I got all of your guys' resumes, by the way, when you joined the team. And so I was looking through that. You had finance on it. So construction management, was that a recent change?
Yeah, super recent. Like a few weeks ago, we were just not feeling great about the path I was going down. A lot of my buddies are just in finance, and that's kind of the reason why I was going that way. But there's been a lot of talk like AI is going to take a lot of those jobs in the future, and a lot of the roads to success, at least after graduating in finance, are like investment banking. And that's just not something I want to do. And I have a lot of people that I look up to in my life, a lot of family who do construction management, and it just seems really interesting to me. And I want to study something that I'll actually enjoy, and I can also, start a business from that too, which is a big goal of mine. So I'm excited. Just praying about it has made me feel pretty good about that decision.
Oh, it's so scary to switch anything. And especially when you're in school and you're like, I've already taken this many classes and spent this amount of money on those things. But kudos to you for being brave and saying, I think that this feels more aligned, and taking the first step and going. I'm excited to see where this goes. An interesting topic about AI. I feel like that's changing the whole trajectory of so many jobs. Thanks for bringing that up. Seth is our podcast manager. So you guys don't see the back end things that happen with the podcast, and everybody on the team has played some role in helping this. If you guys go and check out our YouTube channel and think about the editing and everything that goes in the back end, they have helped. Seth has helped so much in creating this and making it possible. Seth, thank you so much. So grateful to have you as our podcast manager. We don't want you to leave. Okay, Josh, you're up.
Yeah, I'm Josh. I'm from Tooele, Utah. I'm a pre-business major right now, but the goal is to get into the accounting program and go into financial and managerial consulting. I just think it's kind of cool to tell people what they could improve on so that like their business, their finances within the business can just grow and be better. And then the goal is to work into AI consulting because like Seth was saying, it's one of those things that's kind of taking over the job market. A lot of people don't know how to use it, but when you learn how to use it, it's like the best tool ever. So
AI consulting?
yeah,
What is this?
it's
I'm
it's
just
pretty-
picturing ChatGPT. Like,
yeah, no, and that's the funny thing is like most people think it's just ChatGPT, but there's so many different models that you can use for so many different tasks, and just trying to help people understand how they can use it better.
yeah, I'm super impressed. I could see you being an amazing consultant. Josh is great. He is our team lead, and he's kind of the glue that keeps the team together. Like he's a man of many talents too. He randomly said, "Oh yeah, I coded a website," and I'm like, "What? You coded a website?" My website has had this weird thing forever. I used a template and it had like a random makeup girl pop in the back whenever it would load. I'm like, I've had this lady popping up on my website forever. Josh, I tried to fix it it took me hours to try to fix it. He gets in there and 20 minutes later it's fixed. I'm like, who is this? Just like incredible. So he's had his hand in so many different things. He's made sure that our meetings are smooth. He's a great communicator. And I can see you being amazing at this consulting thing because you're great at telling your ideas and pushing back and proposing things in a professional way. I am so excited to see what you do. Not jealous about the accounting, but I need people like that in my life.
Thank you, Brooke.
Okay, you guys, we are going to do this panel style. We have a few questions. I think this is going to be super insightful because this is a different demographic, right? The guests that we've had come on have all been managers or high executive leaders and experts in their industries, but they all started somewhere. All of them started where you are, and it has been incredible to see how each of you have brought your talents, gifts, leadership moments to the team. I think as a college student, we have so many pressures, right? You have to choose a major, then you have to pick all of your classes in order to graduate, and there's people constantly asking, what do you want to do with that? I literally just asked that to Brendan, right, on the call. And so there's this pressure to have it all figured out. Do you guys feel that when you're in the thick of it right now? Do you feel this pressure to have your entire life mapped out? Or do you feel like, I already feel like I'm failing and I haven't even graduated yet and I have no idea?
I can answer this question. So I mentioned that I'm a minor in plant and landscape systems. I started that back when I was a freshman back in 2019. Then I went and served an LDS mission. And right now I'm actually a senior at BYU. This is my 4th year. And at the beginning of the semester, I was still a plant and landscapes major. And I just for the longest time, everyone's like, what are you going to do? What do you want to be? And I was like, oh, well, I'll just be a landscape designer because I had a class when I was a freshman and I really liked that and I thought it was super fun. But the more and more I took these classes, the more I just realized I'm like, this isn't what I actually want to do. And I just talked it through a bunch with my parents and with my roommates and my friends. And I was like, what should I do? And everybody's like, if you're not happy with what you're doing, there's no problem with changing. And I finally, I prayed about it and I made the decision that, yeah, I can do whatever I want. And at the beginning of the semester, I changed to political science. And it's definitely way harder than plant and landscapes. But, don't regret that decision because I did what I wanted to do and what I feel happy doing, something that interests me. And so I feel like you don't have to cave to that pressure just because everybody asks you those questions. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? I didn't know what I wanted to be for 4 years of college. And yes, it put me back maybe a year, but I don't regret choosing to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it.
I love that so much. But it's so scary because when you get that far down the road, you're just like, should I just bite the bullet? And I love that you said that you were talking to other people. Sometimes do you feel like you just need permission? Deep down, you probably knew that it wasn't the right thing, but it's scary to make that choice and actually change.
I can relate to that as well. I'm only a sophomore in school. I've already changed my major 3 times. I started off in biology, then in finance, then I was undeclared for a while, and then, or I don't know, all the above. But like I said, I just got married a few months ago, and so my whole freshman year I was kind of just a little aloof, I'm just trying to play basketball and just have fun after working hard on a mission as well. And so now that I'm married, there's another weight of responsibility. I really need to start, using this time right now to get my direction for the rest of my life going, because I feel now is when you start developing the habits that create success. And
you can't just play basketball for the whole 4 years.
Yeah.
It is exciting. It's a good choice, kind of, but
Especially at 5
it's not the worst choice, but yeah. And then, having a wife who's super motivated, she's just amazing. And so she helps me, work hard and stay on the right track. And she's been pretty successful in sales already. And so her parents are like, well, Seth's got to, catch up to Natalie. And so I'm working on catching up to her. She's a really good influence to me.
shout out to Natalie. And is she at school right now too, or has she graduated? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so she's also at BYU. She's studying exercise and wellness. She was doing door-to-door sales. I did that for a year as well. And now she's doing high ticket, Zoom call sales. She's getting into that right now.
How did we not connect on this? Door-to-door sales, what did you do? Yeah. What door-to-door sales did you do?
I did pest control for a company called Green Eggs.
Did we talk about this already?
No, have you done door to door?
I literally did pest control. I literally did pest control too. And anybody who's done sales or door to door, I don't know if this was the same thing that you thought, but it was like, I also served a mission, and I thought because we would go knock door to door and share a message about Christ. And so I thought this will be perfect. I want to pay for my grad program. I'm going to go sell pest control. It's so brutal. So hats off to you. Where did you go sell?
We went to Chicago last summer.
Are there a lot of bugs in Chicago?
Tons of bugs, a lot of ants, a lot of spiders. It was fun. How many years did you do it, Brooke?
I only did it one summer. One and done, but I earned my stripes. And now, that's all.
It's tough. It's definitely way different than serving a mission, like learning how to close people and actually getting them to commit to doing what you want. It's like you're begging people on the doors to sign up, and it's not the most.
I mean, it's so hard. It's hard in sales because if you don't sell, you don't eat. So it's tricky. You got to find something if you're going to do sales that you believe in. And that's why I love what you said about wanting to own your own business. It sounds like you guys are the power couple. If you can find something that you're passionate about, that you love and aligns with you, that benefits other people, like you really know that, then you can sell it. But there's hard moments with pest control, at least for me and other things. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
Okay.
I guess for me, I'm a sophomore, and so I've only been at BYU for 2 years. And I feel like my first year of my freshman year, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like I wanted to be a PA in dermatology, and I was like, I think that would be a good path for me. And then I took a science class, and I was like, I hate science. I was like, this is not my vibe. And then I took an entrepreneurship class with one of the best teachers ever. His name's Corbin Church. And he changed my life forever. Just helped me understand that building your own dreams is something that you can do, and you don't have to work for somebody else and build their dreams. You can build your dreams. And so I like entrepreneurship because you have this flexibility of you can do what you want. We'll give you the format of how you should build something like this, and then you do whatever you want in whatever area you want. But
I'm getting chills. Obviously, I've drinking the Kool-Aid. I've done both. And how amazing that you have this opportunity to learn from somebody right now that I wish, well, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my path. But if I would have known that this was even a possibility and that there was a path and other people that understood what it was like, that would have changed everything. So amazing.
Yeah.
That you found
it's
that.
So great. Because my dad's an entrepreneur, and BYU has so many great entrepreneurship activities. There's iHub, there's the Rollins Center, there's all these tools and assets that help you start a business. And so it just is really great. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, what I want to start, but I'm grateful for the tools that I have. So, yeah.
Amazing, Addie. What's your dad's business?
So he just sold it actually, but he was in the funeral industry selling headstones and vaults. And he's just sold it to a big company, and he was involved in that for a long time. He was still the president of the company, but he was like, you know what, I want to help build my kids' dreams. So he left that company, and now he's kind of waiting for us to start something so he can help us start. And it's super great. It's a really great resource for me, and I look up to him a lot.
That's incredible to be able to not only see somebody build their own business, but also experience as you're growing up with them, and then feel like you have a mentor. I love that you mentioned so many resources, and I think that would be a great episode to go into. If you're wanting to start your own business, the community colleges, they have so many resources and opportunities, but you just don't know about them. I don't know about all of them. So things that can change everything. You have more support than you think you do. Okay, let's go into the I'm not good enough moments. Sometimes I hate asking this question because I have this moment where I feel like it doesn't apply to other people. It's just me. That's the thought that I hear. You're going to ask it and they're going to have blank stares and they're going to be like, I haven't felt like that. I haven't felt like I'm not good enough. Have you had an experience when you felt like you weren't good enough or doubted whether you belonged, whether it was in school, work, life in general. If you want to get spicy, you can even bring it up about the internship, anything, right? What was that experience? And if you felt that way, what has helped you push through?
For me, I applied to BYU's accounting program, and I didn't get the best grades in the prerequisite classes because I was a freshman that was kind of just goofing around. And I applied and got the rejection letter like a week later, hanging out with my family. And I was like, man,
No.
this sucks. I want to do accounting, and it's just not working out. And then I was talking to my dad, and he kind of just helped me realize, like, your worth is not tied to the grades that you got or whether or not BYU thinks you're a good accountant. 'Cause I've done a couple accounting internships before, so I've got on-job experience, and I actually worked for his company and automated their payroll systems. He's like, you saved our company so much time and money with what you've done already as an accountant, and you don't even have a degree. So you don't need BYU to tell you that you're worthy to be an accountant or whatever. You don't need your grades to make you feel worthy. You've already done stuff. The paperwork behind it, whatever. But like, you're good enough because you've already proven that you're good enough. Whether somebody else says it or not, you can look at what you've done and say, I'm good enough.
Oh my goodness. That statement that you just said, that your worth is not tied to, and then I'd put a blank. Because how many times do we literally get a rejection letter? Like, and then you look at it and you could say, this is evidence that I'm not good enough, and put that in your evidence box and keep it in your heart, and it keeps impacting you for the rest of your life, right? Amazing, first of all, that you have a dad that could tell you that, and you literally automated a payroll system. Okay, somebody's going to be asking for your email on here and wanting to hire you immediately after this episode goes live, but that's incredible. What a great reminder that our worth is not tied to whatever it is.
I kind of have a silly example. When I was in like middle school, I had really bad FOMO, which if you don't know what FOMO is, it's the fear of missing out. And I just was really having a hard time finding a really solid group of friends. And so I always would sit at home and just throw a pity party for myself. And so my dad talked to me and he's like, Addie, he's like, why do you care? He's like, why do you care? He's like, you know what is going to be the best tool in your life? He's like, when you learn to not care, your life just becomes so much better. And I've really applied that like through my whole life. I don't even think my dad remembers that situation, but I just feel like whenever we're in like this, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. You know what? I don't care. I am worth it. I deserve to have friends. I deserve to have love. I deserve to get this job. Like, even if I don't get it the first time, I don't care about what other people think of me. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to do what is best for me.
That's a shout out to all of the people who recovering people pleasers, like raise your hand. That's me. But really, it's so hard because you want to be liked. That's human nature. We want to be liked. We want to be accepted. And we have these expectations and standards. If you can just release that and allow yourself to be, and not care about all of the external things, but care about what's inside, it changes everything.
I have a couple examples I could share. Currently, I work at the Missionary Training Center for the Church of Jesus Christ here in Provo, and I love it. I think it's the greatest place to work, but I also love Steward My Life. That's also the greatest place to work.
It does not compare to the Missionary Training Center. Are you serious? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I got hired to be a teacher for non-language missionaries, and I was so excited because this is what I wanted to do since my mission. I was super pumped.
Tell us what that means, non-language missionaries.
So missionaries get sent all over the world to just teach about Jesus Christ, and when they get sent to other countries, they learn new languages. I was just teaching missionaries who were speaking their native language, which was English in almost every case. So I would teach them how to be a missionary, what missionary life was like, We would talk about like the gospel of Jesus Christ and the beliefs of our church. But I just remember my first time, I was actually put to shadow this other guy, and we were together for just an hour in his class, and then he turns to me and says, "Brother Tingy, you're going to teach this next activity for an hour." And I was like, suddenly I started panicking, and I was so scared to stand in front of these missionaries. I'm like, I'm not capable to teach them. I'm like, yes, I was a missionary, but like, I don't know if I really know what I'm doing. Like, I have no experience teaching a group of missionaries, like 10 to 12 missionaries. And I stood up, and I was doing my best, and then we were talking about just like a certain situation, and a missionary raised their hand, and they said, but Brother Tingy, what if I'm not good enough? Like, what if I'm not capable to help this person in this way? And in that moment, I just like had this really cool revelation from God, I would say, that, and he just like prompted me to say something. And I said, missionaries, you're not good enough in those moments, and that's okay, because the Lord is good enough, and he can give you the power to do whatever it is you need to do. And I realized that was true for myself too, that like I was not good enough to teach these missionaries, but that's okay. Like, God was going to help me through it, and he did help me through it. He helped me learn so many new things, and I was so much better at teaching by the time I was done with that job. And I count that to God, like to him being willing to help me, and me just being humble enough to like accept that I need his help. And then I have another experience. I left that job to go to another job in a different area in the MTC, called the Helping Others area, where I'm a supervisor now. And that job was so intimidating for me. Like, I was super excited to work there, but I got put
What is it?
in charge.
Tell us what it is.
The area?
Yeah, like you said, it's a helping others. Give us some context.
So missionaries at the MTC and out in the world, they have a purpose that they memorize and they try and live by, and it's invite others to come unto Jesus Christ by helping them, and it goes on. And so our area is called the Helping Others area, where we just provide people to meet with the missionaries that they can help come closer to Jesus Christ. And it's a pretty daunting task. My team is 35 different languages. So I have to find and hire languages from like the Europe area, like languages in the Pacific, like these really small, obscure languages. It's pretty tough sometimes. And it's tough to like be somebody's boss, and I was so scared. I remember it was kind of the same thing. My first training meeting where I had to go and like lead a meeting for my team, I was so nervous, and I was just like nervous every day that I was there. Felt like I wasn't learning what I was supposed to be learning. Like, I was so behind all the other supervisors on my team. But the thing that I learned there was that that's okay too. Like, nobody expects you to be perfect at everything, especially when you're new at something. And I realized that just like when I was brave enough to ask questions, that people were willing to help me. And so I feel like from that experience, I learned that relying on the people around me is such a big thing. I would also say that I've learned that like here at Steward of my life, because when I first started, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to like help Brooke or her company. But just like in our team meetings, being able to talk through how we're feeling about everything and where we're all at has like really helped me to feel like I'm capable. Yes, there's always things that I need to learn and be better at. But when you just learn to talk it out with people and rely on them, you realize that you have people who are going through the same thing, that they have experiences that they can help you with, and that nobody expects you to know everything. Like, I think that's like the biggest thing. Like with imposter syndrome, we think that everybody expects us to know everything right off the bat and be perfect and never make mistakes. But like, that's just not true. Like, we're people, we make mistakes, we all have learning curves, and everybody goes through that, and people can help each other through that. And so I think you just have to be brave enough to like ask people questions and open up to them about how you're feeling and say, hey, like, I kind of feel like maybe I don't belong, like maybe I'm not good enough. And going back to God, I think he'll send people to just like put their arms around us and lift us up and let us know that like we can do it, and they're going to help us through it.
Brandon, number one, I love what you said about questions, asking questions and realizing that we're all human. We're going to be put in situations and in future roles, and you're going to be a leader. Brandon, all of you guys, I can already see it in my mind. I'm like, you're born to lead. You're going to be put in situations, and sometimes there's an expectation. Yeah, I'm supposed to know everything. And the scariest part is asking a question, because then it opens you up to show that you don't know. If I ask this, they're seriously going to know that I have no freaking idea what I'm doing. I'm afraid I'm going to look dumb, all this stuff. I have dealt with that for so long. So the fact that you are getting that now, and in the places that you can and where you're working, you are creating, whether you're a leader or not, you're creating an environment where people can just feel human and say, look, it's okay. We don't have to be perfect. We can ask questions. Questions change everything. If you have the courage to be a leader and asking questions first, it will change the culture of the team, because then other people will feel like they can ask questions. Sometimes it takes being courageous first. All right, we talked about I'm not good enough, and now fear of failing, but taking the leap anyways. Has there ever been an opportunity that you almost didn't take because you were afraid? Let's talk about fear and get real with that.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I did high school drill, so that's like dance. And as a younger girl, I really wasn't the best at my studio. I was pretty good. I wasn't the best of the best on the traveling team, you know. And so I kind of like always was like, yeah, I'm not like the best dancer, but like I'm okay, you know. But my senior year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna decide to just like do a solo, like, and compete that. And it was kind of hard because I was going up against all the girls at my studio that I always thought were like way better than me. And I did my song to like Celine Dion, like It's All Coming Back to Me Now. Anyways, like it was
Yes.
kind of funny. Anyways, but one of the girls that I competed with at my studio, she had the same exact song. And it was really hard because I got like 12th place and she got like first place. And I was like, oh, dang it. I was like so upset. I was so sad about it. And my coach talked to me and she's like, Addie, like, I think we need to change your song. And I was like, okay. So we changed my song to like a different, like more lyrical piece. And I ended up competing it for the first time. And I beat a bunch of the girls in my studio, and I got 5th instead of 12th at a bigger competition. And so I was like, okay. Like I need to stop thinking of like getting out of my head. I like competed against one of the girls that I was really like anxious about, and I beat her, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I was like, this is crazy. So I don't know. I just feel like I had this fear of like I'm not good like I'm gonna fail, like I know I'm gonna be bad. And so I was just like, why would I do it? But I was like, you know, I'll take a leap and I'll see what I can do. And so I ended up becoming better. It's okay to fail. You can fail and you can learn, and you just gotta learn how to grow and get better after.
You still went for it anyways. That's like the biggest accomplishment, because even now, you know, looking years back, you have this beautiful story, right? I wasn't the best, but I tried, and look what happened. But the greatest gift is the character building that just happened, because you chose to do that. That choice is going to impact so many other things, and you'll be able to apply that to other scenarios.
Totally.
Last summer, I went with some friends on a trip to Moab, Utah. We went down to Arches National Park. And we had planned to go rappelling, and I'm so scared of heights, so scared. I like shake and get tunnel vision. And we went to go rappelling. I'm like, I don't think I could do this. I thought I was gonna like throw up. My friends probably thought I was the biggest wimp, and I was. And I was sitting there, and there was probably like 10 or 12 of us, and people just kept going down this cliff, and I would see people keep disappearing. I'm like, man, like my turn's coming up, like I don't think I can do this. And then I like strapped on the harness and went over and like locked into the rope. And once I started going down, immediately I felt so calm and so free, and like the greatest adrenaline rush. And I realized, wow, this is so amazing. This is the coolest thing. And I feel completely safe because I have the ropes. Like I'm going to be fine. But like instantly, as soon as I started walking backwards over the cliff, I'm like, I can't believe that I almost didn't do this. This is so cool, so fun. And I think about it probably like once a week. Like it was one of the funnest things I've ever did in my life. We went down that cliff, and then we went over to an arch. We actually rappelled off an arch, and that was so cool. And I think back, like if I had like wimped out, and if I had been too afraid to do it, like I would not have that experience, and my friends would think that I'm a wimp. Like that's probably how they would see me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so glad that I did it, just because the experience was so cool. And it's something like I want to do again. And so it reminds me of like, there's times in my life where I have been too afraid to fail that I haven't tried, and I regret those, like all of them. And from that experience, I think I learned that like, you don't have to regret those things. Like you can go, you can try, you can do it. Luckily I didn't fail in that one. I think if I'd failed, I would have died. But like in most other cases, you know, like you can fail and you can get back up again and you can try. And I think that's what I learned, that like sometimes just like the experience itself is the most fun part. And I feel like just in my life, I've learned recently that like life is just about trying to get better, and you don't get better unless you fail, like everything, you know. And so going back to God, like I think God wants to help us get back up when we fail, and I think that's where we learn to rely on him, and that's where we get power to become better people.
Going along with that, I can just add a quick thought. I'm trying to think of like a specific moment where I've had this situation happen, you know, where I almost chickened out. I feel like if I were to think about my decisions of doing something too much before I actually make it, like I would just say no every single time, and I'd be in my mom's basement right now doing nothing. But I try to just live by the concept of like being a yes man, you know, just saying yes to things before, you know, you have time to like think like, oh man, like will I be good enough? Like for example, serving a mission or doing door-to-door sales or just, you know, difficult things in my life. You just like pre-commit, and so then you're already in the thick of it, and it's gonna suck and you're gonna fail, and you gotta just live with that. But like learning how to, you know, develop the mindset of like that's okay I'm gonna fail, and learning how to create that mindset of like I'm going to succeed no matter what. Like all the experience from it is just super worth it. And so I've definitely taken out of a lot of things in my life too, a lot of regrets. But you know, I think my failures have been the biggest things in my life that has like helped me to grow, and so I'm so grateful for them.
Okay, last question. If you could go back and talk to yourself a year ago, what would you say? Or think about it from the perspective of if the person that you loved the most was struggling, they're afraid to pick a major, afraid to move forward in whatever thing, feeling like an imposter, worried that they're going to make the wrong decision, what would you say to them?
So kind of funny story. This last weekend I was in Kansas and I got 2 speeding tickets. And
2 speeding tickets.
yeah, not great. I wasn't speeding like crazy, but anyways, got 2 speeding tickets. And then one of my flights got canceled. Another one got delayed 6 hours. So like, just
Jeez.
the worst. And you know, I had school on Monday morning, so I kind of had to get home. But kind of what I wish I could tell myself a year ago was kind of what an answer I got this past weekend was just slow down, chill out. Like everything's going to work out the way that you need it to be. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't need to be going a million miles an hour all the time. Like just relax a little bit and everything's going to fall into place.
I need that message. I feel like I've been getting the same message lately and I love that we kind of keep bringing it back to this spiritual perspective that life is so much more than the stuff that we're doing. Like there is a greater purpose in all of the things. And so remembering that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to chill out, and it's all going to work out how it's supposed to.
I think what I would say is just that like you can be whatever you want to be. Like I know that kind of sounds dumb, but like it's true, you know? Like God created all of us to be our own individuals and gave us all power to choose. I think because he wants us to choose whatever we want. I heard something once that I think was like super profound for me. Just that like God wants us to make our own decisions. And I think a lot of times we like get worried, oh, what if this is like the wrong decision? What if like this decision will ruin my life? But like I think God cares about us enough that he'll stop us from making those decisions. So just like go and choose what you want to be and start going towards those things. And if it's the wrong thing, like you won't make it far before God just like lets you know like, hey, like this is not what I want for you. Like you should take a step back and maybe make a different decision. I've found that in my life that like it's really simple. Like he just simply says to you like, this is the wrong thing, choose something else. And sometimes he just lets me make my own decisions, and those are the decisions that always work out, and that always help me learn and to grow. something else I would also say too is like it's totally okay to fail. Like we've been talking about, like going back to the MTC, like I have a lot of employees who are super worried about doing the wrong things at work and making mistakes. And I always tell them, like, you know what, you're probably going to make mistakes while you're here, and that is totally fine. Like my job is to help you like learn from those mistakes and become better. And so recognize that like it's totally okay to make mistakes. Like that's where we learn, that's where we grow, and don't be afraid to go do things that you don't know how to do. Like you'll be able to figure them out as you do that. I feel like too, like with Steward of my life, like so many things didn't know how to do them. They just kind of got thrown on our plate, and it's like, well, I have no experience with this. And I think that's how it is in life. Like you get thrown things that like you don't know how to do, and you're not going to know how to do them unless you just try to do them. And I feel like looking back, like once I've tried to do them, like I've grown so much, and now I know how to do those things. And so just keep trying and keep failing, and recognize like that's how you learn and become a better person every day.
Yeah, for me, just like adding on to Brendan, like God will always let you choose the right path. Like I always thought that I was gonna be a college dancer and dance at Utah State, and that's what I always dreamed of doing. And
Go Aggies.
Anyways, go Aggies, but go Cougars now, you know. Anyways, but that's what I always dreamed of, like going to Utah State and being a dancer. And I auditioned and I didn't get on, and I got into BYU, and I was like, oh my gosh, like no way, kind of cool, I guess. And I kind of just went with my gut. I was like, you know what, might as well just go to BYU. And I ended up auditioning for Noteworthy, and I got on, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is way better than doing college dance. Like this is just
way better.
Yeah, just like God will always let you make the right decision, and He will never let you make the wrong decision. He's always looking out for you and making you choose the best decision. And I've kind of had that thought a lot recently too, because deciding if I should marry the guy that I'm wanting to marry, you know, I'm like, God would stop me if it was wrong. God would stop me, and I'm choosing him, and that's what we need to do. You know, that's just how it is, and God will always stop you. And just always go with your gut and choose the right thing, and you'll be good. So.
I love this, that bringing God into it, that he cares so much about us. And I agree. I will say that in my life, as I've had these different experiences and hit moments in my life, in my career, and in my personal life where I thought, I am in a place that how did I even end up here? I'm doing a job that I do not like. I'm having these trials. My life is not how I pictured it would ever be. And feeling so sad, like I made the wrong choice. I would hyper-analyze every single detail that came before, from the beginning of time, you know, since I could ever remember when I was 2 years old. What did I do? Where did I go wrong? I went on this path, and what happened? But to go back to this piece that God cares about our lives, I believe that, like we've talked about, we're able to make our own decisions, and he will make everything for our good. So even if I remember thinking, I'm in this job, I'm doing nothing that's aligned with any of the skills, talents, abilities, desires that I want to do. I just wasted tens of thousands of dollars getting master's degrees, doing this job that I hate, and feeling this hopelessness of it was all waste. And then, you guys, I have seen the literal transformation. That once we have the courage, we always know that there is a choice, there is an option. We can always change, we can pivot, we can change our minds. That he will take those experiences, and I've literally seen how he has taken those experiences that I thought, okay, that was just a failure, that was pointless, or I wasted time in that role, or whatever it was. And it has been the biggest blessing and pivotal stepping stone in my life. So hindsight is 2020. If, for those listening, if you feel like, man, I'm in this place and I don't know, and I feel like it's all a waste, and it feels like a major failure right now, it's okay. You can turn around, you can make another choice, and it can all be made for your good. We have a wide range of people that listen to this podcast: leaders, executives, entrepreneurs, students. You guys are the future leaders, and you're going to be going into organizations. You're going to be starting your own business. You're going to be working with people. What do you think is the most important thing that you wish leaders, team members, whoever you'll be working with knew to help deal with this, to create a culture of getting the imposter syndrome out of here, taking the fear that we have and like kicking it out the door? What do you wish people knew or they would implement as you're going to be transitioning into this next stage of your life?
I think managers and other leaders have an important role to create this environment of safety and comfort with, I guess, their stewardship. And, you know, being vulnerable as a leader helps those that you lead also be vulnerable. If you're genuine and you are honest about your shortcomings, then those that look up to you understand that you're not perfect, but you're trying your best. And when they have their own shortcomings, when they have their own moments of imposter syndrome, of feeling like a fraud, they can come to you and they can open up to you and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. And that leader can take that leadership role and help them develop and get over these humps that they have.
Adding on to that, I would say just like giving the people you lead room to fail, like letting them know, like, hey, like go out there and fail and make some mistakes and learn from those mistakes, and not making it the end of the world if anything bad ever goes wrong. I think like something that I learned about like Christ-like leadership from Christ's example is he said the Son of Man came not to be served but to serve, like recognizing that to be a leader means it's your responsibility to serve those that you lead and to lift them up and not just expect them to follow you and do what you do. Like you have to go out and be making an effort to help them improve what they're doing and overcoming those failures and mistakes.
I would agree with all of those things. I feel like our role in life is to become more selfless and just to learn how to not think about ourselves more, and just like if we have a manager or an executive or someone that we are working under, just know that like we're trying our best, and we want to gain this experience and we want to learn how to fail and to be okay with us failing, and just to be like, you know what, they're working their hardest, you know, they're trying their best. And so just like that understanding of that.
I liked what Brendan said a lot, you know, allowing room for failure. I think leaders who are like a good example, good people who you want to like look up to and you want to be like, those are the type of people that you want to strive to become. And when those guys are very vulnerable, you know, with the concept of fraud to fearless, like everyone is still a fraud. No one is like 100% fearless yet. And so those who like are willing to admit their own mistakes and be like, hey, I'm still learning as well. Like, what feedback can you give me? This really makes it more like a mutualistic environment where I think we can all grow and become better together, instead of, you know, looking at a leader as like, oh, this guy's like above me, he's so much better than me, I can't become like him or her. And yeah, just being that good role model.
This has been amazing. I have learned so much from you guys, and I'm so grateful that we got to sit for a minute and just talk like this. I don't want to get emotional. And Seth, you just said about being vulnerable, so then maybe we won't edit this part out. Maybe I'll give you guys full rights to edit this thing because I'll probably edit it out. I'm trying to work on being more vulnerable. It's so hard, but it's true. That's what creates the human experience and connectedness. And I've gleaned so many things from each of the things that you guys have said. The one statement, it was Brendan, something that you said about when you went
Repelling.
Yes, that's it. When you went repelling, you said you have never been more scared. You wanted to throw up. You had tunnel vision, shaking. And so I think about those fear moments. Here's the challenge that I'm going to take on, and anybody who feels called to this who's listening. What is the thing that you are so afraid to do that would literally make you feel sick, like shaking? And let's keep it to like safety. Like we know jumping off a building or jumping out of a plane without a parachute, but you know what I'm talking about, like actual real life scenarios that whether it's maybe it's public speaking or being vulnerable or telling somebody something else. What is the thing that really scares you, that creates so much fear? And will you look at it And will you face it? And just like Brendan said, because he did that, he thinks about that experience and how it impacted him almost every single week. The power of facing our fears and going for it, even if we might fail, even if we've never done, it creates life-changing experiences. So that's the invitation. Think of one thing in your life, whether it's professionally, personally, spiritually, whatever it is, that you are afraid to do, and look at it and fail forward and watch how it changes your life. I know that you are going to have an experience like Brendan, and it could change the trajectory of everything for you. All right, that's the pod.
Is Brooke frozen on your guys' end?
She's frozen.
Yep.
No!
You guys.
All right, well, that's the pod.
Right,
Testing.
that's the pod. Yeah, Brooke's gone. No more pod.